Good morning, everyone. It is January 27th at 8:35, right on the nose. We haven't missed a beat. We are dead on time today. If you didn't know, we now start at 8:35, and each day it basically changes to when we finally get here. So we're not
You're
late.
on the schedule. Realtor time.
We're on the schedule that we made.
That's what, we used to say that all the time. Are we on J time or realtor time?
Yeah. So we're
J
here.
time, Jay the realtor is usually 5 or 10 minutes late, right? Any agent will tell you that. Like you have your day all planned out, and then one agent wants to stick at a house for like 4 minutes too long, and that just it's like compounds, and your day goes on brutal.
That's my world. So hey, well, we're here. It's 90 days out, so it's the 27th of April, January, February, March. Yeah, it's April, and so keep that in mind. I know. Can you believe it's April already? So as we discussed, Tim is on assignment for the week, so he is not with us here today. We have the incredible Jason Westcott. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, where are you? Are you in an office somewhere? Where are you?
Right there, KW. Where am I? Right here, KW, Coastal Lakes and Mountains. I'm in Dover.
You're in Dover.
I'm in Dover.
Yep, in Dover. All right. Well, how's the weather up there? We're going to be looking at a big bad weekend. Is it nice and sunny up there right now?
So for anybody that hadn't seen my Facebook post this morning, I got home yesterday, and I don't know what I was thinking. And let me just tell you why. Christy, who was in the North Conway and Meredith office, she has a homestead. So I buy farm fresh eggs from Christy.
Ooh, nice.
So yesterday I leave the office. Christy gives me I buy my dozen eggs from Christy. Awesome mint, perfect. I drive all the way home. I don't know what goes on, Robert. I don't know if I lose my brain. I don't even remember driving home. I was on the phone so much. But anyway, I get home.
You left.
I wake up this morning at 3 o'clock to go to the gym. Right? And guess what's sitting on the front seat of my truck at -2 degrees?
Cold boiled eggs, solid eggs.
Yes. Yeah. Elsa eggs, I like to call them, frozen. So, so I have that issue. It gets worse. I then go to the gym 3:30 in the morning. I get done around, 10 minutes of 5. I leave the gym, and my truck is like 2 miles to empty. Because the big gauge that's screaming at me all day yesterday on my drive home did not tell me to get gas on the 70-mile track home. No. -2. I'm
-2.
Because let me tell you how many gas stations are open at 4:45 in the morning. None.
So, okay, 2 questions. One, do eggs that are frozen thaw out and are edible, or you have to just toss them?
Okay, so if anybody knows that, I Googled it. What it says in Google is, yes, you can freeze eggs you can thaw them on the counter or the fridge and use them immediately. Does that mean I got to eat all 12 today?
It's going to be a big omelet.
I'll tell you what, I can do it. That is keto-proof.
It's a big old omelet.
Yep. So I didn't eat breakfast. I'm not going to eat lunch. I'm going to fast.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to eat eggs when I go.
Fast for 12 days to have a 12-egg omelet.
Yeah, right.
Man, well, I know that this weekend is, the numbers are fluctuating, and of course we won't know until it's all done. And doom and gloom aside, they say it's gonna be 16 inches or so. It'll probably be 5 inches, but in any case, I have to get my snowblower ready because the tension rod for the throttle is loosened up too much, and now it won't engage. So I've got to go do that in the freezing cold at some point and get that done so that we're ready for the snowfall.
I'll tell you what. I might be taking care of a driveway near you, right behind you, and I have a really nice snowblower. You get in it, and you put it in drive, and then you go, and then you put it in R.
Are you talking about your truck?
Yeah.
See, I don't like snow pushing because I don't want a big pile of snow at the end of the driveway.
I can appreciate that. When I had my very first house, I used to tell people, I had a roommate, right? And I said, hey, buddy, listen, you don't walk in the front lawn. There's no footprints in my snow. But here's the thing, right? Tomorrow when its wind is blowing sideways and you're out snow blowing, and I'm going to drive by you like this with the window cracked, heat on. Hey, buddy.
See, now that's I have a really good way of snow blowing that I have a pretty good looking driveway when I'm done because I have like this little pattern that I use, and it works out really nicely to keep the snow moving in one direction, and then I'm done. So and I'm done. So I love
You're
that.
like a Zamboni driver. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfectly lined up. So,
The kids in California can snow blow better than us.
yes. Well, that is so funny because the California boy in me is like, I would never have ever imagined this. That I'd be having a tractor and snow blowers. But I've been here now in I've been in New England longer than I lived when I was in California when I was
So how long have you
younger.
lived in New England?
Since well,
Are
all
we saying more than 10 years?
much more.
Oh, you're from here now, kid.
Oh yeah, much more.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
probably 30 years into New England. So I mean,
Oh,
as far
wow.
as I'm a New Englander, it's in my bones here. So
As long as
I
you
love it.
understand that you're on 95 and 128, you're going north on 95 but south on 128, and you're on the same road,
Yeah,
you're from here.
yeah, you're from here. So okay, Sue Doyle. This I am not at all surprised with what Sue says here. She says just drive over the snow. It's
Yeah.
fine and it will eventually melt. Okay.
Every spring, Doyle's putting a new lower fascia bumper on her car because that's how she handles it.
Yeah.
She's like, it's an Infinity commercial. When they bust through the snowbank? Not every day, Doyle. Not every day.
Oh, a season to remember.
Q35 is the SUV to own. Doyle's sending it.
Nope. So we're just jammering around here. It's a light day today. That we actually were talking about that before we went on this morning. That we have, of course, Ignite today, Ignite 2.0, and it is contract to closed today. And that is, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the different training classes that we've been doing, but I have been focusing on that a lot in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
Because tis the season, I guess. We went through a little bit of a period where people were working on getting deals and working on things. And now it seems that since we hit the new year, things are starting to really mature. And because of that, I'm getting a lot of phone calls. Okay, oh my gosh, this thing is happening now. Now I'm in the contract phase. I'm in this phase. How do I do this? How do I do that? And we have in the LMS, which is kwclmtraining.com, we have a video section in there. It's broken into 4 small segments on taking care of an opportunity from the contract to close part. But today, the Ignite class, if you go into the news, the morning news, which is in your email, you will see that there is a link to the Ignite, and it will take you through the contract to close. And that's at 9 a.m. That's right after we get off the air here. So you can't go wrong there. We also have, if you're not in need of the contract classes right now, Gene Rivers is doing a listing clinic at 9 a.m. as well. And that link is in the news this morning. And then, of course, the evening for those of you who are dual agents where you're working, dual jobs, night school. And even if you're not, if you just want to come and hang out, a night school tonight with Jason Westcott.
Yeah, it's another version of Ask the Broker, right? I mean, it's just a chance to come in and talk about realistically anything. If I don't know the answer, I can lead you to the person that does, probably
Absolutely.
Robert. It's one of those things, so like the backing up, like the contract to close and Ignite, go take that class. And if you sit in that class and go, man, this interests me in zero, reach out to Jason Houle.
Yeah.
Right. Your Fulcrum TC services are transaction to close services. So,
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't excite you, and it didn't excite me, I'll tell you the 2 things I did not like when I was in production. I love contracts. Everyone knows that because I teach it. I love filling them up, negotiating them. I don't like dealing with the title companies and who's going to be there and what dates need to be hit. Like, yes, I did it, and I don't like it. Alta statements and all that. I mean, leverage that out. And the other thing I hated was marketing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I can look at marketing and be like, yes, I love it. Or I can look at it and go, yuck, but I don't want to sit there and do it. You know what I mean? Like if you give them money, hey, I want this in blue and I want this to say this and the Keller Williams logo over here. Leverage it. Like, that's where all your mega agents are leveraging what they like to do and what they don't like to do. And if you're building a team, leverage out the stuff you don't like to do,
You mentioned that we have inside Keller Williams here, we have the service Fulcrum Transaction Services, but what do they call it? What is the full name of that? I know it's just Fulcrum. Is it just Fulcrum?
I think it is Fulcrum's Transaction Services. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with what that is, Jason Houle, who is our compliance officer, he kind of heads up the compliance area, along with Colin D'Agostino. Both of those two take care of the compliance, but Jason also heads up the Fulcrum Transaction Services, which is a full service transaction management, transaction coordination. And he does a lot of wonderful things that will take those things off your plate. If you're not familiar with it, please reach out to Jason Hool or comply anybody here.
Yeah, and the other thing about Jason, for people that are fairly new, Jason's been with the company, don't quote me on this, like 6 or 7 years. Jason actually wrote our advertising for the PG, policy and guidelines. Like Jason wrote it. Like, so he's a licensed broker in the state of New Hampshire. He's been licensed in the state of New Hampshire for, I think, as long as I have. So got to be 16, 18 years. He knows. So if you send him a proof of a sign, he's really good at saying yes, it complies or not. If you're looking for TC work, like, yes, he heads our compliance team. So he knows exactly what a Form 3 is, when a site assessment needs to be done. Because when you're in command and it says optional, non-optional, I didn't set that up. Jen Vashon didn't set it up. I'll tell you, Nate Dickey didn't set it up. That was Jason Hool decides what forms we need, and so he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant when it comes to the RSA laws for all 3 states, adding a 4th. Now, we were in a Vermont meeting yesterday, me, Jen, and the compliance team. Obviously, we're getting ready with the Vermont forms, and Jen was going over them. We were reading them, and it's just some of the stuff that Jason was bringing from other states to come into Vermont, with common law. He is brilliant. I'm blown away every time I have a conversation with him.
Well, you said something in there that I found very interesting is, Jason heads up the compliance team, and he also handles the transaction services that we do. So can you just kind of picture that if the guy who heads up the compliance is also the guy who's doing your transaction services, you're probably not going to run into too many situations where the guy who's doing the transaction services is getting hung up by something in compliance. It's not going to be any delays, because this is the guy who's going to pretty much guarantee it's right, because he's doing it and he's the guy who makes sure it's done. So talk about, the horse's mouth here. That's the way to go.
When he was up at when he went to the commission to get his broker's license, right? He had a quick little just cause hearing. No, it's no big deal. I'll never forget. I was in the room, and me and Jen decided that when he says what he was going to say, we were all going to look at the commissioners, right? And when they said, "How many transactions have you reviewed or been involved with in your career?" And when he said 40,000, they all went like this. Because most agents are like, "I've sold 400 homes. I've done 2,000 homes in a 20-year career is a lot. That's 100 a year."
Yeah.
When he dropped 40,000 in 7 years, Stephen Hyde goes, "Can we approve this?
Can we just move on?" Somebody's got the big rubber stamp.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go.
And Jason's really, he knows all the title companies. It's just a great mix. I agree with you, Robert.
So I'm going to go backward to Sue Doyle for a second. She says, you negotiate a new extra bumper when you're buying your car. Come on, guys.
Oh my God. So Doyle, answer this question. When you're going to buy like a Mercedes or a BMW, like their new thing right now is like buy the car and get like lifetime maintenance, oil changes, that sort of stuff. I want to hear Doyle's script when she looks across from the service manager who's writing up this contract for her and says, "Can you throw in a bumper and 2 rims?" Because I know she's got a script. So what
she probably has a script.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. So closing things out with Jason at night school tonight is 6 p.m. And then tomorrow is back to basics at 1 p.m. And we also have the KW Tech Labs tomorrow at 2 p.m. And I'm going to push this again because I'll be honest with you. I'm really pleased with the amount of people that are coming into the Tech Labs. And you may have noticed that if you send me an email or something like that and you have a quick question, oftentimes it's easier for us to just jump on a Zoom, right? But my schedule is so busy. That's why I kind of direct people to the Tech Lab. Yesterday, we had 7 people show up on the Zoom. And I had to keep letting them know in the waiting room, "Hey, I'll be right there with you guys. Just stick around and hang in there." But I'm telling you, I'm so glad that you guys are coming in there, because you're actually using it to exactly what we've been hoping for all along. You come in, you have a quick question, we answer the question. If it's something crazy and long, we defer it. We get a meeting, but it's a fantastic opportunity. And something that happened that I would like to kind of share with you is a couple of people emailed me with what they were going to ask me in the Tech Lab. And it gave me a nice heads up. So when they actually got in the room, I had already reviewed their email, and I was like, okay, so I took a look at what your problem was, and thanks for sending that to me. Let's go fix it. So we didn't have to spend a lot of time kind of like going, okay, so here's the problem. I'm doing this. I'm doing, and I got to tell you, that was really kind of cool. So if you do plan on attending the tech lab, feel free to shoot me an email and say, hey, here's what's going on. I'll talk to you too. I can't wait to get this resolved quickly. It really sped things up and it made things really nice. And I love how this is kind of coming together. Unfortunately, we can't do in-person labs, which we're going to eventually be able to do, and
Thank
we'll have people come in and we'll talk tech and stuff like that. But this is starting to really grow and become a really cool thing. So the tech labs are at 2 to 3 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at kwtechtv.com. So I'm pleased with the way that's going.
That's yeah. The LSM is a great spot. And for anybody I did a live video yesterday about HUDHomestore.gov. We had an issue where we have a few NAID numbers because we have one for New Hampshire and Maine that's under Nathan's name, and then the Massachusetts one is under Alice's name because Alice Krabacki is the designated broker for Massachusetts for us. So what was happening is people were trying to log into New Hampshire with the Mass number.
Oh.
I don't know the Mass number. Most of the HUD home stores we have, most of the agents that we have are Mass and Maine, New Hampshire and Maine. So the New Hampshire login for the NAID number is NEWENG 6548. No spaces. If you guys want to watch a video a little further on that, I did a live video yesterday on it. But I know that a lot of people. The HUD home store is for FHA foreclosures, and that's going to start coming back for sure. And we have a lot of agents that want to do it. My other quick thing I'm going to let out you guys know is when you go into HUDHomestore.gov for the first time as an agent, you have to build a profile. I need you guys to understand that you are not the broker. You have to pick Nathan Dickey as your broker because he is the designated principal. I talked about it yesterday real quick about the triangle, right? Licensing goes, we can only have one designated principal for this company, and that's Nate. Under Nate, as a managing broker, is me and Jen. And then under that, we have managing brokers for offices. And then under that would be an associate broker and then salespeople. But you cannot name yourself because what happened yesterday was we had a little bit of confusion. So when we reached out to HUD, now this is the government. This is not just a website. This is the true government. And they went into our account and they said, you guys have 11 brokers registered under HUD. So I made a few calls yesterday. I did reach out to some people. I'm going to be calling some other ones. So if I call you today, it's because I need you guys to go in and take that down because we don't want fines because you guys are not designated principals. And I know that for a fact because there's only one for this company.
Yeah.
And you're not a guy that drives a big Ford truck. So if you have one and you know you have one, I need you guys to take that down. But if you go in there, Nate Dickey is your principal broker. And you put your name down as a salesperson or a selling agent, I think is how they call it there. And I don't care what license you hold. So Jason, I have an account. Mine says selling agent, does not say broker, even though I am one. Nate is the broker. So we got a little bit of little heated water yesterday with that. So we've been trying to clean it up. But it's NEWENG 6548 is actually the NAID number.
So when you're saying things like this, one of the things that I want to remind people of is, these things come up because we make assumptions when we're filling something out, when we're doing anything. And a lot of times it's because you're maybe a bit of a time crunch or you think you have the answer, but you're not quite sure, but you're like, I'll take a shot. In this situation and many like this, taking a shot or taking a guess or making an assumption is probably not your best course of action. Feel free to pick up the phone and call Jason at
603-234-2589.
Or reach out to the home office here at the main Portsmouth office or the main number and ask to be put in touch with someone, be put in touch with Jen or Jason or something. Take a moment when especially if you have any uncertainty, and just reach out because that's literally why we're all here. We're here to make this so that we don't have to reach out to you. Getting a call from the broker is not fun, but making a call to the broker is fun because you're going to learn something, you're going to get it right, and we all want to get it right. So take that time.
I agree with you 100%. And it is confusing because in New Hampshire, you're called a salesperson, right? But in Maine, you're called a broker. But when you're filling out that form, it asks you who the designated principal is. The designated principal broker or designated broker. And that in all states is always, it's Nate for New Hampshire and Maine, and it is Alice for Mass. I do believe it's Nate for Vermont too, but I'm not 100% sure on that right now because I know the licensing is starting to all come in.
Yeah, apparently Sudo thinks that we should add that number to the license number list. That's a typical 2AM question.
We could. Yeah, it really is, Doyle. You're right. The other thing I'm going to try to challenge Robert into one day in the next couple of weeks is sitting down with me and figuring out how to do a video on how to build a login at the HUD store, and we can use mine if
Let's
that works.
do it.
Yeah, because it is an issue. Like I said, I think we had 14 or 16 people yesterday that were on that list.
Man.
When we opened up the worms about, we had to so Nate's license came in. He had to renew his license. We had to go into it and say, okay, Nathan's license is now this expiration date. And when we did that, we got into it, and they were like, "Oh, great, thanks for updating Nate's license." And who is this person?
Who's this?
Who
are these people?
Brokers in the state of New Hampshire, because you're the only firm that can do that. And we went,
so Brittany put in the numbers into the chat for us there. She put in the Mass number, the New Hampshire, and the Maine number. So those are in there. Nice. But I love what you just said about putting together a video. We're trying to expand the library in the LMS, and this would be another one of those fantastic things where we can have this central repository. If you're not familiar with it, kwclmtraining.com. Keep your eye on it. It's a growing resource, and because of that, we're not going to say maybe, we're not going to try. We will put this process and this information into the LMS so that you have that 24 hours a day and immediate access to it. So if you have any questions on how to access that or what you need to do, you can feel free to reach out to me at command@kwclm.com. Of course, you can reach out to Jason or Brittany in licensing. So there's plenty of resources here. And most importantly, reach out. That's what we're here for. So, all right, it is 8:57. We're going to cut you a few minutes loose so that you can get into either Ignite, Contracted Close, or the listing clinic with Gene Rivers, which I think is going to be really cool, because if you're struggling with listings, and if you're struggling with understanding the process, and if you have any interest in listings, well, let's see, as a real estate agent, would you have any interest in listings? Do you think they would, Jason? No?
I would hope.
So attend those classes, and then night school is tonight. We have no lab today, so I'm be focused on building stuff in the LMS today. So have a great day. Thanks for joining us, and remember, Wordle is your friend. Go do your Wordle. Have an awesome one, and we will talk to you all later on.